King's counsel Peter Knox, who appeared for the prosecution, told the court that the prosecution wants a retrial if the Privy Council's decision is to overturn the men's conviction. Now, there are three key issues at the heart of the case. 1. Should the trial judge have excluded the phone evidence that the prosecution relied on? 2. How should the judge have handled the allegations that there were attempts to bribe members of the jury during the trial, and should the jury or the juror accused of bribery have been discharged? And 3. Whether the jury felt pressured to give a verdict after being asked to consider their decision at 3:42 in the afternoon.
Wagwan people, what are they do for everybody doing good as always? So Paula Llewellyn and her team, the prosecution, is basically requesting a retrial for vybz Kartel and Sean Stam them in a Jamaica after them see where the Privy Council outlined that there was an unfair trial given to vybz Kartel and the man them. Yeah, people, me I go show on the video so you can see what go on. You see me? But before we get into that, leave a like on the video, and if you're not new, just subscribe. You see me? Because I don't know, so you to get the latest. So people, as you know, the appeal went on for hours, and most of you did not complain in the comment section, so you have to understand where the prosecution did I say, which was the short man. You see me? But I went back to watch the actual live, and there was actually a key moment in the live where basically tell us, yo, vybz Kartel conviction is going to be overturned by the Privy Council, and the prosecution, which is Paula Llewellyn and her team, highlighted that them understand so that they don't go on because them say, yo, the appeal basically are going a vybz Kartel favor. So in that moment, they requested a retrial, people. Very, very key moments there in the live, in the appeal, I should say. You see me? So me I go play it right here so they can see what I go on.
Miscarriage of justice. I should emphasize that I accept that if there was a risk of bias, a real risk of bias in the verdict, that would mean the trial was unfair, and that would also mean that you couldn't apply the proviso. An unfair trial is written water. But if the trial was fair, in my submission, you apply the proviso.
Do we have the statutory provision that contains the proviso?
I think we do. Yeah. In the bundle. For some reason, I seem to remember reading it recently. If I'm wrong, I'll be corrected. Perhaps I can...
Perhaps you could have the reference later.
I'll give you the references if I can find
it. Thank you very much.
My lord, my lords, my lady, that is only one point.
Yes, I think it's page 6806.
Thank you.
I think it's in the standard form of wording you're probably familiar with from other jurisdictions.
Well, I have noticed that they vary on
Well, the one we've been given
that's why I asked.
is the Judicature Appellate Jurisdiction Act, and it's section 14, the proviso to section 14.1.
Thank you.
The no substantial miscarriage of justice test.
Yes.
And that's why I say there is, subject to the unfair trial point, subject to the unfair trial point. There's no unfair trial. The proviso I submit applies. The final question is that of remission. In my submission, this could hardly be a more serious case. It is of particular concern that we are talking here about great celebrities. That doesn't mean that you apply a different standard, but of course it does mean, in my respectful submission, such a high-profile case with, on the face of it, such overwhelming evidence. Most of it, of course, not the entirety of it, being of a technical nature and so forth. I submit this would be an appropriate case for the matter to be remitted for a retrial. My lords, I don't think on the whole you yourselves do that. You normally send it back to the Court of Appeal to consider. But I would submit there's every reason, if I'm wrong, for the Court of Appeal to consider what to do. My lords, those are my submissions on the main point. I've only got a little bit of time on the other points. I think I'm right to say my lords, you have seen our written case.
Yeah, this is the JS2.
Yes, the JS2 point.
What do you hear about it? What do you want to do off the bench?
Should we write this for a minute?
Yes. Mr. Knox, we'll rise for a moment or two just to consider whether we need to hear you on the JS2 point.
So in law, there's a term that is used when either the prosecution or the defendant is running out of ideas or pointers to argue on, and it's called droning. And we basically saw that from the prosecution side, where he basically had nothing else to argue on. So in that moment, he basically say, "Oh, if there was if you decide that there was it's an unfair trial, then we are requesting a retrial." And he basically say, "Oh, them to send it back to Jamaica for it do a retrial, like basically go over everything." You see me? I remember this was the longest trial in Jamaican history, you know, people. So in basically I tell them, say, "Yo, do it back over," in which that should have been the case initially. That's what the judge should have done when him find out, say, "Yo, there was one person, there's one juror trying to bribe everybody else." You see me? So in that case now, because of that should have done from the beginning, that basically I gotta tell you, say, "Yo, the Privy Council, I'm gonna give back a retrial," especially with vybz Kartel team, Isaac and the other lawyers, basically arguing that the poison is already injected, so there cannot be a fair trial. Even if there is to be a retrial, it will not be a fair trial. You see me, people? So in this case now, basically I tell you, say, "Yo, that decision, the charge and everything, the conviction will be overturned by the Privy Council," and the prosecution, Paula Llewellyn and their team identified that them say, "Yo, the appeal went in vybz Kartel and the man them favor." So them basically a drone. You see me? Them a request, say, "Yo, retrial for them." So I am more confident that vybz Kartel, Sean Stam, and the rest of them are forward the road by summer. By May, that are the latest me put it, because the Privy Council normally take 2 to 3 months to give a verdict. And based on how it look, and based on how the prosecution make it look as well, that yes, there was an unfair trial given to vybz Kartel them. You see me? And yeah, it look good for them. It's a great look. You see me? But I don't know, I go. Once we get the information, once we have the details, we go forward yourself and make you know I go and keep you up to date as always. You see me, people? But definitely want to hear your thoughts on this in the comment section. You see me? But that for this video, remember to leave a like on the video. Very important, you see me? And if you're new to the channel, just subscribe, said we. Also, share this video across every single platform, you see me? So everybody can be in the known as always, you see me, people? I'm out.